All right, so this is a very quick video. There was one thing that Jeff Spring mentioned in a recent interview with Ultiworld about the potential of an international tour that I feel like we need to talk about.
If you're a European player, you can play in Europe. You can find success. You can develop your career. I think that the global or the world's point standings will incorporate potentially more events in the future. This is hopefully setting the stage for us to be able to say, do we have a points event in Australia and New Zealand or in South America that can just be dgpt events similar to the European? Now, Europe is the biggest market. It's had a rich history of development of the professional side of the game. So I think that this will be the main hub of international development for a long time. But if we were going to do one or two, three other international events, the system that we have in place now could integrate other points events, on a even just one basis, and then you can look at points as hey, how many international events will contribute to the world standings, so to speak, right?
All right, so with the consolidation of the European Pro Tour, there is a new highlight of the point series system being established for the European section, and ultimately this will create a framework for all the future countries and continents that want to be a part of the Disc Golf Pro Tour. So players from Australia, Southeast Asia, South America, South Africa will now have the opportunity to become part of the Disc Golf Pro Tour without actually having to spend thousands and thousands of dollars on actually traveling to the US. By having a Disc Golf Pro Tour in their certain area, this allows the Disc Golf Pro Tour to become much more international and more of a cohesive worldwide endeavor. Whereas right now, I feel like as a person that was originating from Kansas, I think the bulk of the Disc Golf Pro Tour is players from Kansas and the Midwest. So being able to see the worldwide scope of what disc golf really looks like can only be a net positive for the sport, because we'll finally get to see players like Randy Dueck from Belize, Jackie Chin from China, Manabu Kajiyama from Japan. These are some of the best disc golfers that just don't really get a lot of attention because they're not really part of the main Disc Golf Pro Tour. And when they do go, they're not like the best finishers, but they still are great disc golfers that should get some amount of recognition in their certain district because they are amazing. They're just not quite as amazing as players like Calvin. So being able to get a huge spotlight on them by being part of the Disc Golf Pro Tour, but still restricted to the region that they live in, will still allow them to be a part of the tour without having to spend thousands and thousands of dollars, ultimately being a net win for everybody involved. Now the question of profit comes into play. I think that is a much, much harder question because there's really no precedent for countries that aren't Finland, Estonia, Norway to be profitable because they're kind of set up. They have a million courses, so many players, every kid wants to be a disc golfer, whereas every other country that is just not the case. Straight up has not been the case, probably will not be the case, but we still have to pursue these opportunities from places that still have high potential of great disc golf and great players. We just don't know about it because it's not part of the culture. But seeing that Jeff Spring is still focused on this reality is very, very exciting. But knowing Jeff Spring, he is very overly hopeful sometimes and can kind of generalize stuff in a manner that makes it seem like it's going to happen soon, but realistically it may not happen for years upon years. So I don't want to get my hopes up, but the fact that he is mentioning it right now to have worldwide disc golf is very, very exciting, and I hope we get to see that future soon enough. So with that, what do you guys think? Would you want to see a worldwide tour? Would you want to see like an Australia Open being like a major? Personally, I would love this stuff, but maybe that's just me. Love to hear it from you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe. Wild Runs, signing out. Peace.